Hey Yankees fans, welcome to Yankees Rumors and News, your go-to spot for the latest buzz and updates about our team. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a scoop. The New York Yankees, after a winter of headline-grabbing moves, now find themselves in a position that feels strangely familiar. They're done chasing the biggest fish in the free agent pool, and they're going to have to get creative. When you look at the landscape of starting pitchers available, it was clear that Freddie Peralta was the top target, and now that he's headed to the Mets, the Yankees have to accept the reality that their next rotation arm is not going to come with a price tag that makes the entire league gasp. It's not a story of failure, exactly, but more like a story of restraint, a moment where the most famous franchise in baseball is choosing patience over panic and strategy over spectacle. The Yankees' offseason began with a clear blueprint: improve the lineup, add a big bat, and then find pitching help to support a team that has already proven it can win. With the right mix of stars and depth, Cody Bellinger was the centerpiece, the missing puzzle piece that would finally give the Yankees the offensive threat that could keep them competitive even when the pitching wobbled. Now that Bellinger is officially in pinstripes, the rest of the roster starts to look a lot more like a finished product. That's the message you get when you read what MLB.com single quotes as Mark Feinsand reported. The Yankees will not be chasing the free agent starters, not Valdez, not Zach Gallen, not Chris Bassitt, not Lucas Giolito. After spending big on Bellinger, the next move is not going to be expensive. This is not a team that has lost its ambition. It's a team that is recognizing the limits of its current financial structure. The payroll is already enormous, and the moment you add one mega contract, the pressure rises to avoid another. Spotrac has the Yankees' payroll projected at $324 million for next season, and when you think about that number, it becomes obvious why they are hesitant to go further. The Yankees are not a team that spends just to spend, they spend to win. And when the cost outweighs the value, they walk away. It's a kind of old-school baseball wisdom that the Yankees have not always been known for. But this winter, it feels like a new approach is taking shape. The most obvious reason for avoiding free agency is simply the price. Framber Valdez, for instance, is not going to come cheap. He is likely to command a contract similar to Bellinger's in total dollars and years, and the Yankees have to weigh whether the investment is worth the uncertainty. With Valdez, there is also the human element, the intangible that teams sometimes try to avoid. His well-documented conflict with catcher Cesar Salazar, which culminated in Trent Grisham hitting a home run off him, raises questions about his temperament. It's not a deal breaker for every team, but for the Yankees, who demand consistency and leadership from their pitchers, it becomes a complicating factor. Then there is Zach Gallen. Who would have been the next best option? Gallen is an elite pitcher, the kind that can change the trajectory of a rotation, but he comes with a complication that isn't financial. The Arizona Diamondbacks slapped him with a qualifying offer, and that changes the market entirely. Teams that sign him would have to give up draft pick compensation, and that kind of loss can influence a front office's decision, especially when they are already operating near the upper limits of their payroll. It's not that the Yankees don't want Gallen, it's that the cost, both in money and in future assets, might be too high. So if the Yankees are not going to spend on starters, what do? The answer is simple: they get creative. They will look to internal options, development, and perhaps trades that don't require the kind of blockbuster spending we associate with this franchise. Brian Cashman has always been a master at finding value where other teams see only problems, and this winter may be the perfect example of that. The lineup is now set, the bench is shaping up, and the only real remaining need is pitching, but the Yankees have proven they can win with pitching that is not always the flashiest. Last season, the team showed that depth, resilience, and smart bullpen management can carry you far. And that brings us to the bullpen. With the lineup essentially complete, Cashman will likely shift his focus to adding a relief arm or two, the kind of piece that can make the difference in close games. A strong bullpen is the backbone of any modern championship team, and the Yankees know it. Amed Rosario, Oswaldo Cabrera, Jason Dominguez, and potentially Spencer Jones make the bench look finished. But the bullpen is where the Yankees can still find the edge. The question is whether they will be willing to spend the way they have in previous years on a reliever, or if they will find a more cost-effective solution, one that provides stability without breaking the bank. This offseason could end up being quiet, or it could explode with a surprise trade that nobody saw coming. That's the wild card. The Yankees have done it before, and they can do it again. Think back to 2021, when they shocked the league by acquiring Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and Josh Donaldson. In the same window, those were bold moves that filled multiple needs at once, or consider last year when they landed Devin Williams, an impact reliever who immediately changed the dynamic of their bullpen. Those deals were surprising at the time, and they created momentum. If the Yankees pull off a similar move this winter, it could be the kind of trade that turns a good team into a great one, but there's a risk. The Yankees have had surprise trades before that did not yield the results they hoped for. That's the gamble when you make a move that shocks the market. You are betting on the player's ability to adapt to New York's pressure and expectations. The Yankees are a franchise where every pitch is analyzed, every at-bat is dissected, and every move is scrutinized by fans and media alike. If a surprise trade happens, it will need to deliver immediate impact, because there is no patience in the Bronx for a slow rebuild. The Yankees are built to win now, and anything less is viewed as failure. So where does that leave us? The Yankees are in a unique position. They have a lineup that is finally complete, a payroll that is already massive, and a rotation that will have to be patched together without the kind of free agent spending that used to define this team. They will either find a hidden gem in the trade market or trust the players they already have, hoping that development and coaching can produce the next star. The truth is, this could be the most interesting winter in years, not because of the big signings, but because of the quiet strategy behind the scenes. The Yankees are no longer chasing every headline. They are building a team that can win without the drama, and if that's true, then the Yankees may be entering a new era, an era where they are not defined by the biggest contracts, but by the smartest decisions, an era where the team's success is based on balance, depth, and a willingness to adapt. The Yankees are still the Yankees, and they will always be the Yankees. But this offseason could be the moment where they prove that even the most powerful franchise in sports can evolve. The fans may not like the lack of big-name pitching signings, but if the Yankees win, no one will care. Because in the end, championships are the only thing that matter in New York. And if the Yankees can find a way to get there without overspending, then this winter will be remembered, not for what they didn't do, but for what they did right. If you're enjoying the updates, drop a like and let us know in the comments your thoughts on this rumor. Breaking news is swirling around the Major League Baseball universe. And if you're a Yankees fan or just a fan of jaw-dropping, headline-grabbing moves, you're going to want to buckle up. The rumor mill has gone into overdrive, and sources close to the front office are whispering about a deal that could reshape not just the New York Yankees, but potentially the entire landscape of the league for years to come. At the heart of this storm is none other than Julio Rodriguez, the young superstar outfielder who has been dazzling fans with his mix of power, speed, and baseball IQ since breaking onto the scene. The whispers suggest that the Yankees are closing in on what could be described as a blockbuster trade, a move so audacious that even the most optimistic fans might find themselves catching their breath. Imagine the Bronx Bombers acquiring a player who is widely considered one of the brightest young talents in the game today. This is not just a trade, it's a seismic shift in strategy, ambition, and the clear statement that the Yankees are all in on dominating the American League for the foreseeable future. Sources hint that negotiations have been intense, stretching over multiple sessions with executives on both sides meticulously analyzing contracts, player value, and long-term implications. There's a sense of urgency in the air, as the Yankees are reportedly willing to pull out all the stops to make this happen. A level of commitment that signals the front office is thinking not just in terms of the next season, but in building a dynasty that could last a decade or more. Industry insiders are buzzing about the potential package the Yankees might be sending in return. And while nothing has been confirmed, speculation points to a combination of top-tier prospects and established players who could balance the scales for a team losing a talent like Rodriguez. Names thrown around in early chatter include young arms with electric potential, middle infielders with defensive prowess, and even some of the Yankees' rising stars who have shown flashes of brilliance at the major league level. The idea is simple yet bold. The Yankees want Julio, and they're ready to pay a price that could leave other teams reeling. Analysts are split, with some questioning the wisdom of trading away so much future potential for a player who, while spectacular, represents a significant financial and strategic commitment. Others argue that in today's MLB landscape, a move like this is exactly what separates contenders from pretenders. The league is evolving, money is flowing, And the pressure to win now is immense, adding Julio Rodriguez, a player whose combination of hitting, base running, and defensive impact is rare even among elite talent, could catapult the Yankees into a class of their own, where expectations are stratospheric and the margin for error razor thin. But let's dive deeper into why this rumor has ignited such a frenzy. Rodriguez is not just any prospect. He's the type of player who can alter the course of games single-handedly. Picture this, a young outfielder with the ability to hit for average, launch towering home runs, swipe bases with uncanny speed, and cover more ground in the outfield than most veterans. He's the complete package. The kind of player franchises dream about but rarely acquire outside of a draft lottery or a multi-year developmental plan. And now, the Yankees, known historically for their willingness to spend, to take risks, and to chase championships at nearly any cost, appear poised to make him theirs. Rumors suggest that the Yankees' leadership sees Rodriguez not just as a player, but as a cornerstone, someone who can define the team's identity, draw fans in droves, and become the face of the franchise for years. There's also chatter that this potential trade could spark a domino effect across the league. If the Yankees land Rodriguez, other teams may scramble to recalibrate, whether by making counteroffers, protecting their own young stars from similar trades, or accelerating development pipelines to avoid being left behind. The implications of this single move extend far beyond New York, touching rival teams, division standings, and even the delicate balance of power in the American League. Sources hint that the conversations have been secretive, intense, and fraught with the tension typical of blockbuster negotiations. Executives have been weighing every angle: salary commitments, positional depth, clubhouse chemistry, and even the subtle dynamics of fan engagement and media coverage. In New York, media outlets are already speculating wildly about the potential arrival of Rodriguez, imagining the headlines, the hype videos, the Yankee Stadium unveilings, and the inevitable debates on whether this trade will cement the team's legacy or risk long-term instability. Social media has exploded with fans dissecting every word, every leak, every cryptic statement from insiders. Some are ecstatic, envisioning a Yankees outfield that could rival any in history, while others caution patience, reminding the public that trades of this magnitude come with risk, pressure, and the potential for public backlash if expectations are not immediately met. And yet, the excitement is undeniable. The very notion that the Yankees are actively pursuing Julio Rodriguez sends a clear signal to the rest of the league. New York is not playing games. Another dimension fueling speculation is the timing. The baseball calendar is relentless, with trades, free agency, and roster construction all interacting in a delicate dance. A move like this, if executed soon, could send a message that the Yankees are not merely reacting to the market, they're shaping it. They could essentially dictate the terms of competition, forcing other teams to respond to their audacious strategy. Imagine the ripple effects: scouts recalibrating player valuations, front offices adjusting development timelines, and fans across the country speculating about the next domino to fall. In addition, the personal element cannot be ignored. Rodriguez, a young superstar with immense potential, is at a stage where the right environment could accelerate his ascent into superstardom. The Yankees, with their storied history, media spotlight, and passionate fan base, offer a stage unlike any other, but also a pressure cooker that can define careers. Will he thrive in the spotlight, become the leader of a new Yankees era? Or will the weight of expectation be too much too soon? The speculation itself is intoxicating for fans and analysts alike, fueling conversations that stretch from casual social media threads to high-profile sports talk shows. Of course, no blockbuster trade discussion is complete without considering the economic and contractual dimensions. Rodriguez's talent commands a significant financial commitment, and the Yankees are known for carefully managing contracts to maximize both immediate impact and long-term sustainability. Rumors suggest that part of the negotiation includes considerations about extension deals, performance incentives, and even potential marketing partnerships. Given Rodriguez's rising star power, the Yankees are not just trading for talent, they're investing in a brand, a spectacle, and a player whose influence could extend far beyond the diamond. And this is exactly why the baseball world is watching with bated breath. Every report, every unnamed source, and every insider whisper adds fuel to the fire, creating a narrative that is part sports, part drama, and entirely captivating. Meanwhile, league executives are reportedly monitoring the situation closely, Aware that a trade of this magnitude could reshape competitive balance, the American League, already rich with talent, could see a seismic shift if Rodriguez lands in New York. Rival teams may feel compelled to counter with bold moves of their own, accelerating their pursuit of young stars or altering strategies for free agency. Analysts are already speculating about ripple effects, imagining how the addition of Rodriguez could influence lineup construction, pitching rotations, and even playoff projections. In a league where momentum, morale, and matchups can define seasons, a single blockbuster trade has the power to recalibrate the chessboard entirely. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you stay up to date with every Yankees rumor and news. See you in the next video.